we're one step closer to building a roof over our deck.
Pretty big moment of truth here. Let's see how this works.
Not even a couple setbacks can bring us down.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Okay, maybe there's more than a couple setbacks.
I feel like every day with this is like 1 step forward, 5 steps backwards.
At least 5.
Today, we're testing our limits and excited to make big progress.
Cool. Oh, we're actually making progress.
You could call it that. I call it a nightmare. What's up, guys, and good morning. We are out here getting an early start on things today. Brandon stopped at Home Depot to get some materials for us to build a jig. I think we need to build a jig for our chainsaw so that we can cut our knife plate pockets in the bottom of the timbers more accurately and safer. So we're gonna try and do that today, but until he gets here, I'm gonna be welding up some of the plates that Grayson's been drilling. We probably got one more full day of drilling holes that Grayson is gonna tackle so that we have all of the holes in all of our plates. Then I just have to weld the rest of them and paint them, and we'll be done with the metal fabrication and the drilling, which has been very painful. Things are gonna be moving pretty good today. I'm very excited for it, and hopefully we can cut some holes in some timbers with our jig that are gonna be perfecto.
Do you know what you're about to do? What?
Paint.
Paint?
There.
Wow.
I can hold my brush.
You're gonna hold your brush,
There.
but you're not gonna dump the water, right?
There.
Be very careful with that water.
I don't want to dump it.
Don't dump it.
I don't want to dump it.
Yeah, we don't want to dump it. Okay, what are you gonna paint?
On the paper.
Okay, what are you gonna make?
Beautiful.
It's so hot.
Buddy.
It's already about 73 degrees this morning. It's supposed to be in the hundreds, I think, every day this week. It's gonna be a hot week. So we're taking advantage of starting as early as possible. The dogs are already laying in the shade. I am still pregnant, but choosing to embrace it, choosing to let this baby cook as long as he needs.
All right, are we jigging? Is that what this is?
Getting jiggy.
Getting jiggy with it?
Trying to get jiggy with it.
Wow. The only jig I'm familiar with is the Craig jig.
This is the Trent jig. Yeah. Well, this is the heirloom builder's jig. We saw some guys on YouTube do this, so we're gonna try it.
Oh, okay.
Like most things on YouTube, they made it look really easy.
It's a template, it's a guide for you?
It's gonna hold the chainsaw in the right spot
Okay.
so that it doesn't, if you guys saw the previous video when I was trying to freehand this, the chainsaw blade, like the teeth at the very end of the chainsaw, kind of hit the end of the pocket and like catch and bind up and like rams the top of the chainsaw into the top of the pocket. It was like catching the teeth and I was having to like yank it out. It's really bad for the chainsaw. It's really dangerous because when it yanks like that, the chain could come off and then it could like cut my legs off. So it's like not a really good situation.
Don't tell me that.
But this jig is gonna hold the chainsaw perfectly still so that it can't bind and kick.
Okay.
And then you can just kind of push it into the pocket and slowly make your cut. And then your cut should be straight and precise and square and everything. We'll see. The actual challenge now is that these guys basically built something like this, and then they had a block that mounted to the the bar of the chainsaw. Their block only had to be like 3 inches thick. Our block has to be like 5 13/16 of an inch thick. So one, it's going to be hard to drill through all of that to get our all thread in there. And two, I don't know what we're going to use yet. I was thinking maybe we could use like a piece of the beam. We could just cut off like a section of one of those like 3 1/8 by 9 inch beams and then like cut that block down to the right size. I really hope this works because cutting these things freehand is something that only really experienced guys should be doing. Like you would generally have like a journeyman, like timber framer, I think, who's doing this stuff, and then like the apprentice maybe gets to try sometimes, and after they get really good at it, they can try, because like a 12 by 12 timber that's, you know, 14 feet long is like a $1,000 to $2,000.
Wow.
And if you mess it up, if you mess this knife plate up,
The customer gets really mad at you.
we have to buy a new one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you can't just fill it with wood glue and try again.
Yeah.
You know. The good news is this thing is so long, we literally have to cut off like 3.5 feet.
Okay. So we got some
if we had
wiggle
to,
room.
we could cut this end off and redo a knife plate. But I think over there we have a little bit of slop, and I think we can actually take some shims and position some shims in there until we figure out where it's just right, where there's no play, and that will be okay for this one.
Okay.
But for all of the other 7, I don't want to be doing that.
Right.
I want to just have like a situation where we can just make it nice and easy and
Tight.
fits tight and it's good and we don't have to worry. So
Tight like a tiger.
toy like a toyga.
Mama.
Hi. Wow. Did you paint that with Agaga?
I'm pink that.
It's beautiful, Leo. Very nice.
Look, I has not painted.
You painted it.
There, you know, I did us.
Nice. You gonna paint some more?
No.
Okay.
Well, guys, we made it. We made it to full term. Baby boy is fully cooked. Now we're just waiting for him to come out. I never thought we would be in this position because psychologically, I was expecting what happened last time with Leo, where he would come out at 36, 37, maybe even 38 weeks. Well, we're there, and he's still not here. So I'm having to really readjust everything that I've been thinking about this whole pregnancy and maybe set our expectations for a few more weeks, which is hard. At the end of summer, feeling so big, feeling very grateful, but all these different emotions are complicated, and it's important to talk through them because otherwise you can just get so overwhelmed. And I'm actually wrapping up a session right now with my therapist from BetterHelp, and BetterHelp is the sponsor of today's video. You guys have heard us talk about BetterHelp before. I have been using their services for over a year now. It has been so unbelievably helpful to talk with someone who understands about everything I've gone through with my mom, with this pregnancy, with having a toddler, with DIY building, whatever it is you're going through in life. You can always use someone to talk to, and that's what I love about BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. You can do it all from your phone or computer, on a phone call, a video chat, or messaging, however you feel most comfortable, and you can schedule it all from the comfort of your own home. After you answer a few questions about yourself, BetterHelp will match you to a professional who has years of experience helping people with struggles just like yours. And if you don't vibe with your therapist, you can switch. If you're looking for someone to talk to, let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can help. If you click our link in the description below or go to betterhelp.com/Trent Allie, you'll actually get a special discount on your first month as well. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. I'm gonna kind of process my session that I'm wrapping up right now and get back outside and get to work.
Whoa.
Looking for that one.
Okay, is it wet?
It's,
Let it dry.
Yeah, let's let it dry a little bit.
I cannot pass it, Mama.
That's right.
Look, it's Olaf.
You drew Olaf?
There.
Wow.
And I draw his ears.
He has ears. I didn't know he had ears.
He has a mouth and eyes.
A mouth and eyes.
There.
Very good.
It's the skinniest little all thread I've ever seen.
Well, it won't take much, but the problem is We don't have a drill bit long enough to get through our block, so we're having to try and drill 2 holes.
Nothing
Making
can
them
ever
line
be
up
easy.
is not easy.
Oh my gosh.
Very true.
All right. The difference between standing in the sun and the shade is remarkable out here. Standing in the sun it's pretty brutal. So I'm gonna try to whip up some homemade shade for these guys. Get yourself a moon. You won't regret it.
What kind of fool did you take me for? I've seen it before.
There you go, some homemade shade. What do you think, Trent?
Thanks, Allie.
I don't know how much that'll actually help, but it's gotta be better than nothing.
Absolutely better than nothing.
Must have lost your mind to leave me behind. I'm one of a kind. I have another guy.
All right, step 1.
Precision.
No, it's hard too because this post is not sitting level.
Mm,
If it was sitting level, it'd probably be a little bit easier, but while you're pushing with that thing and it's vibrating,
yeah,
it's like pushing the square around.
it's pretty good.
Knocking at my door.
So this right here, from that line to that line, in between there and in between there, should be our knife plate pocket.
Okay,
And I guess we'll
find out right now.
get her jig fired up and give her a go.
Give her a go.
You're gonna do a jig if your jig works?
I probably will, so I'll be very excited.
You must have lost your mind, yeah, to leave me behind. I'm one of a kind. I have another kind. Yeah.
This is cool. I see what we're doing here.
Yeah, I wish I could say I came up with the idea, but I didn't.
It's so cool. Are we getting close to trying it?
We're ready.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
All right, let's do this. Exciting. Pretty big moment of truth here. Let's see how this works.
All right, so that made a really nice, clean, straight cut. One thing that's difficult is when you're building this jig, trying to adjust this distance is pretty difficult because you can slap that block in there and that block can be like the perfect distance that you want, but the chain is wider than that block. Now, the chain should be about 1/8 of an inch wider than that block. It's a 3/8 chain, so it hangs over the bar on each side by about 1/8 of an inch. So I made that block, basically I accounted for that extra 1/8 of an inch.
Okay.
And I think the chain has like some wobble to it. So as it's going in and wobbling and cutting, it's cut a little bit wider than like our pocket needs to be. And that's literally the problem we're trying to prevent, is it from being too wide.
But not bad for the first attempt. A little bit of finessing.
But I think it's gonna work.
What are you doing?
He's trying to spray me.
It's not working. That's good. We don't want to get all wet right now. It's dead. It needs new batteries. No, the hose is off right now. small minor adjustments?
No,
Oh, you're just trying it
I
again.
think it's gonna be a little sloppy, but we're gonna work with it.
Okay. Sloppy, but in the right spot.
Arguably.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Good. I've heard if you wear gloves, you won't get splinters. Have you ever heard that?
1, 2, 3. I wear them sometimes.
Oh, okay.
That's exciting. They're just going for it, making the next cut with the chainsaw jig. Grayson is still drilling holes in the metal plates. I think by the end of today, all the metal plates will be ready. And then we just need to finish cutting the correct holes for the timber, installing, and we can start putting up some posts. It's pretty cool.
This is knife plate number 1.
Knife plate number 1 with the jig. All right, so I'm pretty excited that that was like easy, it's nice, it's straight, but the problem is it's not gonna work. So there's some play in there. It looks better than our other slot over there, but in reality, it's actually not that much better because there is some play, some slop. So the only thing we can do is try to remake the jig with a thicker block. And that might work.
Does the slot matter that much if you're gonna thread bolts through it anyway? Won't the bolts like kind of tighten everything up?
No, not really, because the way that a knife plate is designed is the knife plate goes into a slot in the beam and then your bolts go through.
Yeah.
So those bolts are really only stopping play this direction. They're not stopping play this direction.
Okay.
So the gap that the knife plate goes through has to be like very tightly clearanced. And right now it has that much play, which on a 10-foot beam is probably about that much.
Oh my goodness. Not ideal.
Not ideal.
Working well enough that they're willing to go with it, but it's just like half an inch still not deep enough. So they're trying to figure out either if there's some sawdust shavings that are stuffed in the back of the pocket that they need to clear out, or if it actually needs more chainsawing to like get it a little bit deeper for the knife plate to fit. Whew! I gotta take a break inside because I'm hot. Whew, but these guys are my heroes for working outside in this heat. Not even complaining, not at all. It's very impressive.
Where's some? I found a rock.
You found a pretty rock?
And another one.
Another one?
This
Is it hot or cold outside?
is hot.
Here, why don't you have a drink? We've been out sweating.
It's crazy that in the winter there's 10 feet of snow.
I know.
And in the summer it's just unbearably hot.
And you get so drained, like just being out there.
Yeah. These guys do not have the look of success on their face.
I mean, we got it.
Okay, but are you happy with it?
Never happy.
Okay, well that's, I guess, just like your baseline state of being, so maybe that's normal.
I'm a grumpy old man.
Yeah, it's true. You got some shade.
Yeah, it's just making me lazier, honestly.
It's really hot.
I know. You know where it feels good?
Going inside and sitting down.
Inside. You guys should try it.
Well, I think we're to the point of getting our post plate, our base plate, our knife plate, hammer drilled into the pier over here.
All right.
And once we get it hammer drilled into the pier,
There's no going back after that.
we can epoxy those bolts in, and
Wow.
then we can cut the part of the deck out that it's going to run into,
Oh
and
my
then
goodness.
cut this thing down and get working on putting it up.
Scary. You think this excavator can pick it up vertically and do that?
I don't know. I think we're probably going to have to make some type of through bolt that we can hook a strap onto so that we can hang it straight up and down. 'Cause if we
Interesting.
just choke it, it'll like hang at an angle.
Yeah.
And then while you're trying to straighten it out, the choke could slip and Might land on Brandon's toe or something.
That would not be a good day.
All right, say goodbye to your safe deck.
Just in time to have another kid and more hazards.
It's only gonna get more dangerous from here.
Sometimes you gotta crack a few eggs to make an omelet, you know?
Yeah. I feel like we're cracking all the eggs.
That's gonna be a really good omelet.
I know. I know we've talked about this a lot. It like sucks to tear down the stuff that you built and like spend so much time trying to make nice, but it's because we made bad decisions. And bad decisions were to have an uncovered deck in the North Pole. And now we're trying to correct our mistakes.
It's not even the North Pole. It's like in the heat of summer too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, honestly, it's just miserable.
Come on, Frank, let's go.
Frank, inside.
Come on. He's Australian. He loves the heat. He can just lay on this deck all day.
He looks pretty exhausted.
Are you
Go
hot?
inside.
Go inside. Silly dog. Careful. Eddie's going right toward your faces. Brandon.
Let me just move.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon, look out. Is there a deck screw?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Look,
there's
he's
two.
holding it.
2 deck screws, actually.
Hold on.
You need a... Yeah. Yeah. I thought you'd appreciate that.
It's my favorite Sour Patch Kid.
Good.
Beautiful.
Okay.
We're getting the epoxy on the bolts, putting the bolts in.
Okay.
Our base plate is not level,
What?
but we're making do with what we got.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
gonna be at least a hair out of square. And plumb and level and everything else. But hopefully our posts will all be cut to the same height. So maybe I'll just have to like push on this thing with the excavator until it's level when we're like putting the beams and the like joists on, or the rafters. I'm not sure. Either way, we can brace it up with like a 2x12 or something and hopefully get her to be somewhat straight.
Oh boy.
A lot of people have been commenting about why the windows need to be removed, while the siding needed to be removed. There are 2 sets of windows in the front of the house, but the upper windows are so low that if our roof line started where they end at the bottom, it would be really, really shallow of a pitch. It's already like a 312, which is pretty much the bare minimum for shedding snow. So we're trying to, we have to have them be a little bit higher, which is why we have to take those windows out.
Trust me, we've tried everything we could to not remove those windows.
Yeah.
We could wait until these bolts, the epoxy sets up, it holds the base plate in there, and then I could just try and push on this with the excavator until the knife plate is like perfectly level. Controversial.
Yeah, you'd break
At
your
best.
welds, right? You'd
no.
you'd
Probably
weaken.
knock this column over before
It'll
that
probably
happened.
break the anchors before it broke the welds.
Okay.
Definitely better.
Yeah, it's a lot better. This timber framing's hard work. I mean, it's easy, but you do it wrong. So, it's hard.
You got heat stroke. You're not making any sense.
It's not difficult to do if you do it right.
Words of
That's the
wisdom.
difficult part.
Thanks, Trent.
The difficult part is getting it done right. What do you want to do with this?
Make a mantle out
We're
of
gonna
it.
have like 6 or 7 of these.
Great. Did you know?
Okay, so we've talked about this before. Donny Osmond is the voice of the guy hero in Mulan. I forget his name. Shang. Do you know who the voice of John Smith is in Pocahontas?
No.
It's Mel Gibson.
Is it really?
I did know that.
Wow. I thought you were gonna say it was Matthew McConaughey or something.
Oh, this is way pre-Matthew McConaughey. Isn't
That's
that
funny.
so funny?
Yeah. He doesn't seem like a John Smith type.
He was singing, and Jennifer was like, "This is Mel Gibson." I was like, "That's insane. No way." Because Leo was listening to it at lunch.
Yeah, that's wild. We got a lot of these that we have to make. Hopefully they get easier.
Seems so short now. Hope it's right.
Hopefully it's the right length.
I really hope so.
We did some lasering.
Lazy lasering or precise lasering?
A little bit of both.
You are not instilling confidence in me.
Not selling it.
Not selling it, Trent.
Our knife plate's a little crooked. Our timber slot is a little loose. Our concrete isn't level. It's really hot. Just trying to give an update.
Okay, I was like, where are we going here?
We cut this much of the timber off, so
Okay.
it's the right height.
Good.
The
Hopefully.
knife plate with those ugly shims fits in the bottom of here now. The bolts will go into the holes.
Okay.
In 10 hours, when that epoxy sets up, we'll be able to put old Betsy here onto her slot.
Wow, that's pretty exciting.
We're gonna cut our beam slot out of this thing so that it's ready.
Cool. Oh, we're actually making progress.
I don't know.
Cool, cool.
You could call it that. I call it a nightmare. I think we got this.
Okay.
Got a disaster out here.
I don't like the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Well, we cut our beam pocket in there.
Okay, looks great.
Then we found out we cut the beam pocket the wrong direction.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. And then we tried to use our jig to just cut the knife plate going the other direction, and it did not work. Our jig like made a giant 1-inch pocket somehow. It's supposed to be 5/8. So needless to say, we're having a bad time out here,
Oh my gosh,
and
Trent.
it's really hot.
I feel like every day with this is like 1 step forward, 5 steps backwards.
At least 5.
This is not.
I feel like it's just day one over and over again.
Yeah, this is not going anywhere.
It's so tough. Timber framing is just, it's rough.
We're not even framing yet.
This is timber framing. That's what this is.
This is cutting holes.
I know, but that's what timber framing is. And Grayson's not done drilling. I still gotta weld up those other
You got
plates.
another 8 hours of drilling.
I'm like trying to think of something encouraging to say, but this is so bad. You already cut it off. We have to buy a new beam now, or a new post.
There's no way to fix that.
It's just gonna require a lot of manipulation, but I think we can still make it work. But our jig didn't work, which is like kind of perplexing. So I think tomorrow morning we're gonna try to remake the jig,
Okay.
get it dialed,
Okay.
fix the bottom of that post, and
Huh.
make a knife plate fit in there.
Okay. You have a new way to make the jig that you're more excited about?
A little bit. I got some things we're gonna try.
Okay, because you know what they say about the definition of insanity is just doing something over and over again and expecting a different result.
I think we're probably just gonna clean everything up and I'm gonna go inside and cry.
Yeah. What a bummer.
Yeah. It's really just because we're idiots. We just can't get away from being idiots. Alright guys, today has been defeating to say the least, and as you can tell we're actually not at our house in the mountains right now, we're at the other house because
Oh, still pregnant.
Allie is extremely pregnant, and so we're down here where it's a little bit safer, closer to the hospitals.
Yeah.
If anything happens and she goes into labor.
Especially in the middle of the night.
Yeah, we're gonna be spending more nights down here, so that is taking place, but today was very defeating.
Yeah.
And I know timber framing is not easy, and this is our first time, But it seems like everything I'm trying to do to make this happen correctly just keeps coming back to bite me in the butt.
And it's like very expensive mistakes. Like you can't get away from it because
Timbers are expensive.
timbers are expensive. So it's really a punch in the gut.
Yeah. All we can do is strap our boots on tomorrow and try again.
And that's exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine.
I will figure it out.
We will figure it out.
I know I'll figure it out. I just,
But
how expensive is it going to be to figure it out?
you said you think you have a way to salvage this post. So we might not have to buy a whole new post.
I think so.
Which would be ideal. But we'll see tomorrow. I'll let you decide.
But I think this is probably where we're going to let you guys go on this one. If you guys enjoyed coming along on today's adventure, make sure you show us by giving us a big thumbs up on today's video. Consider subscribing to our channel if you haven't already.
Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. Click the link in our description to check them out.
And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Adios.